All right. Howdy, everybody. Mike here. And in today's training, we've got a good friend of mine, Gary Griffiths, who's here to tell us all the way from Australia. It's like morning over there. And he's here to share how you can use LinkedIn for client acquisition. And, Gary and I actually we hop on calls together pretty frequently and, share ideas and talk about different things that we're testing out. And he ran me through all of this a while back, and it is wicked cool. And as I said earlier today, I think that LinkedIn is poised to kind of be one of the next bigger platforms. Just some of the things that they're doing right now with their algorithm, it's really great for content, especially if you have a more business professional type audience, but also for business to business. And so what he's going to walk us through today, things like, at least I could be wrong. He might have changed it, but things like how to optimize your LinkedIn profile for lead generation, how you can use some crazy search features, which, you use a custom audience, you do your targeting for Facebook and it says, hey, there's this many people in the audience. You do it on LinkedIn. It says, hey, there's this many people on their audience. Would you like to see their profiles and send them messages? So it's a little bit more invasive than Facebook, but that's powerful. And he's going to show us how we can use it for lead gen. So Bobby and I are really excited about this. Everybody that has joined our group that knows Gary is very excited about this because they just know Gary has a wealth of knowledge to share with us. What's up? Got my man Ken here, and also from Australia. So this is gonna be a great training. I'm gonna go ahead and shut up now and let Gary take over. You'll see his face in a second. So go ahead, Gary, take it away, man.
G'day everyone, and good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. So just by way of introduction, what I'm about to show you is something that my agency is doing for other clients. I like to call this system how to get a shit ton of leads using LinkedIn. And I'm going to share with you basically the exact steps to go and implement for your agency, for your business, to start getting leads on LinkedIn. And so if you've got any questions or comments or you're not sure about something as we're going through, please just ask. I want this to be interactive. I don't have any slides. We're actually going to be inside Chrome in the browser, actually showing you shit and walking you through everything step by step as best as I can. So a little bit about me. I'm an ex-software sales guy. That was my career. I've sold over $150 million in software in my career. I was one of the, I don't know if you know many of the IT companies out there, but there's a large software company called VMware. I was one of the top 10 salespeople in Asia Pacific, Japan for VMware. And then there's another company called Good Technology that got acquired by BlackBerry. I was one of the top 10 salespeople for those guys globally. While I was with them. And so this strategy I'm about to show you is a sort of, you can't vacuum while we're doing this, guys. Come on.
Who is this? Who's doing that?
All right. But what I'm about to share with you, so if you are serving any B2B niche, this is going to work for you to get leads, okay? So, if you're working with gym owners, realtors, chiropractors, as long as you're in the B2B space, as long as your client is a business owner, then this is going to work for you. Some more recent background on me. About 2 years ago, I started a Facebook ads agency, and I did that off the back of what my friend Mike Heath taught me. And some of you might have seen Mike in the group here. I grew that agency pretty quickly to serve we got to a bit over 200 gyms. So we were very focused on the fitness niche, working with about 200 gyms around the world. And lately I've started scaling that back. I still have that business, but it's much smaller now. As our focus has pivoted, and I've got another agency where we're working with large enterprises, basically. So I've still got the gym agency, but our focus is much more in the B2B space, which is why we're actually eating our own dog food in terms of what I'm about to show you, right? Or drinking our own champagne. So this shit's real. We're doing it every day, and you can do it every day to get leads as well.
And real quick before you dive into this, I want to let y'all know, back in my online fitness days, this is kind of funny, when Gary was showing me what he was doing and was teaching me the system, as you guys know, I worked with a lot of attorneys, business owners. Like, that was kind of the main niche for my fitness business. And I actually turned, somebody had suggested LinkedIn. And as Gary was showing me some of this, I was like, wow, I was doing a very rudimentary, very rough, ugly version of what he's teaching. And I didn't realize this. And this was years ago. And I was using it to close sales for, $300 to $600 per month fitness programs, positioning myself as kind of like this, premium service for an online fitness business. So this stuff has been working for a while. Gary's just kind of perfected it. And it really is more aimed toward B2B, and it's going to work really well for y'all. But it does, like I said, he's doing it with clients. It's worked for me in the past. So just to kind of add some, not that he needs to add legitimacy to it, but anyway, I'll shut up now. Gary, you go ahead and take it away again.
I've got a quick question, Gary. Like, in the grand scheme of, just so people can kind of get perspective of where LinkedIn is right now, where would you say LinkedIn is compared to, say, like Facebook, as far as like Facebook now versus when Facebook started? Where is LinkedIn in that range, or is it not even comparable?
Look, I mean, they don't have as many users. They've only got 500 million users around the world, a bit over 500 million. They're about a quarter of the size of Facebook. But, Facebook is an amazing platform, and Instagram are amazing platforms to generate leads for and sales for businesses that serve consumers or people, right? So if you're a gym, if you're a realtor, if you're a chiropractor, you should absolutely be advertising on Facebook. And that's why they work with folks like yourselves to do that for them. But when you want to go and find gym owners to attract them to work with your agency, or realtors to work with your agency, there are funnels that work for that on Facebook, but you can absolutely also acquire those sorts of people using LinkedIn. So, it's not that there's no absolutes, but I think of LinkedIn as more B2B centric and Facebook as more B2C centric. Right.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. So what I'm going to walk you through, I'm going to break down into 3 sections here. And the first section is around profile optimization. And it's basically around optimizing your LinkedIn profile to become more of a sales letter than a resume or a CV. The second part is about targeting, building out your target market and connecting with them on LinkedIn, and reaching out and connecting every single day, ideally. And the third piece is around educating those connections on how and why what you do gets amazing results, and presents an opportunity for those folk to get those types of results through your service. So as we're doing this, I want to do real live examples, okay? So I'm going to be asking you to throw some niches, industries at me, and we're going to do some of this build it out in real for you. So before I dive into these 3 sections that I'm going to run you through, I just want to lay out some fundamental principles. First, this strategy is predicated on what I believe are absolute facts about how people go about buying. It's either 1, people have a problem they want to get rid of, and so they buy something to get rid of that problem, or 2, they want a result they don't currently have, and so they buy something to get them that result. People don't buy Facebook ads management. People don't buy, consulting services. What they buy is leads. What they buy is sales. Okay? So they buy either a solution to their problem or they buy a result they want but don't have. That's how you need to think about it. Secondly, and closely related, so people hate being sold to, right? And, when you're online these days, I mean, so many of the ads we see on Facebook are really in your face about come here and buy my thing. People hate being sold to, but they love to buy. So if you can help, establish trust, credibility with them, educate them without pushing shit down their throat about coming to buy your shed, you're going to have a much more sustainable business model taking that approach. So they hate to be sold to, but they love to buy. So this strategy, as I mentioned, works as long as your market is on LinkedIn. So it realistically will work for just about any B2B business. And finally, just for clarity, we're not using LinkedIn ads. Okay, LinkedIn ads suck. Don't try LinkedIn ads. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. This strategy uses no ad spend whatsoever. There's another big difference between those two platforms, right? Facebook ads rock. LinkedIn ads suck. All right. So any questions, comments before we get to the meat?
Just one clarification. It's business to business for you because you're trying to hire you're trying to get a business to hire you, another business to provide this service. But, just to clarify what Gary said, it's any business you can find on LinkedIn is going to work. But what we're looking for are business to consumer businesses. So if you go back to the niches training, the niches and offers, we talk about restaurants, we talk about, all the different things, gyms, chiropractors, some of those things have already been mentioned. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. And Gary, we've got a ton of suggestions already from breweries, wineries, restaurants, financial advisors, real estate, gyms, take your pick. I would love wineries and breweries because I'm interested in that. But if that's a harder one, then we can always go to something that we know we'd have an easier time with, like restaurants, real estate, salons, things like that.
We'll find out. We'll
Yep.
work on wineries. I like a challenge.
Ooh, I like it.
So just add to Mike's point, right? And a nice way to think about this is what I'm about to show you is how you get leads for your agency. Once you have those leads for your agency, you go and do what Mike and Bobby have taught you on Facebook to get them the result they want. Okay? So I'm not showing you this to implement for your clients. This is for you to implement for your business.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Sweet. All right. So the first part of this strategy is around what I said was profile optimization. So biggest mistake I see, and by the way, while I'm sharing my screen, I can't see the comments. I don't have that up. So if anyone needs to mention something, Bobby or Mike, can you chime in? Let me. Sweet. Biggest mistake I see with people's profiles on LinkedIn is they treat it like a CV or a resume. What's the word you guys use in America?
Resume.
Resume. Okay. All right. And they make it all about themselves. Well, sorry to tell you, but no one gives a fuck about you. They only care about them, right? So the idea is to turn your profile into a powerful sales letter that is all about them. And that's how you need to start thinking about it. So everything I'm going to walk you through here is not in any sense of order of priority. It's all important. Now, it's not a ton of work, but it's super critical you do this stuff. So please take note. All right. So before you can update your profile, but before you can optimize your profile, you need to know who your target audience is, who it is that you want to focus on serving. And this is where you need to make a decision around niching down. So is it going to be dentists? Is it going to be gym owners? Is it going to be small business owners in your town or city? Because everything we do from here on in is with those folk in mind. So you can't see my hands. I'm doing that. All right. So the first thing is you want to update this first image here in your profile. I mean, most people, when you come to their LinkedIn profile, are going to have the default blue image. That just blends in, doesn't stand out, right? So the first thing is create a custom image. And I like to have a really powerful statement here that's going to resonate with your target market. Now, have you all heard about canva.com?
Oh,
okay. So canva.com has free templates for LinkedIn banners already made. You just throw on some text, save it, upload it to your LinkedIn profile. Super simple to create this, okay? I'm talking 5-10 minutes tops. So your statement that you might want to overlay, we were talking about wineries. So what do wineries do? They sell wine. So if I could guarantee you 10 more retail outlets selling your wine every month, or adding 10 more retail outlets to your distribution, or if I could guarantee...
wineries, it's probably going to be like, what if we could guarantee you, 10 tastings, right? Yeah. Because that's generally going to be their initial offer, is going to be something like, let's get people out to the winery to do a flight of wine, a tasting, because they know that when people do a flight, they're likely going to become a member or at least buy bottles to take home.
If I could guarantee at least 30, 50 more visitors each month to your winery, something along those lines, right? No. Some sort of powerful statement that's just going to resonate and get their attention. So the next piece is your profile image. Most people have a professional headshot, and that's okay. Some people have a photo of them on holidays. That's not so okay. The idea is here, the best photo you can have is either of someone, of you with someone that's quite well known in your target market industry. So let's say you're serving wineries and you go to some wine show and there's a famous winemaker there. Grab a photo, a selfie, and use that as your profile photo. If you don't have a photo of you with someone that's well known in your industry, another great option is if you, I don't know about wineries, if this would be appropriate, but in a lot of B2B niches, you talking to an audience, okay? Talking to an audience implies that you've got some authority, some credibility, that you must know some shit, and otherwise, people wouldn't have had you speaking to an audience of some sort. If you don't have those types of images, then the next best option is, a more professional headshot or something that's congruent with your audience. So this dude's a gym owner, and that's a totally appropriate image for a gym owner to use on their LinkedIn profile. Is that cool?
Yeah. We do have a couple of questions. We've got somebody asked, do you have to have premium to do anything that you're talking about today?
Yeah, so for this part of what I'm showing you, no. But for the next part, yes, you need LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So I was going to talk about that a bit later, but look, it's in a nutshell, it's $65 a month, I think, thereabouts. You get your first month for free. You only need it when you start phase 2 in a little bit. And $65 a month is a freaking drop in the ocean to getting just even one client. I mean, even if you got one client per annum, right, you're still going to be ahead of the game cash flow wise. But this is going to get you dozens of leads every month and clients every single month. Yeah. So you do need a paid account.
And just a note on that, because I think it's important, all of you are starting businesses, and the mindset that you have coming into this is probably very different than what it needs to be, what Gary's mindset is, what mine, what Bobby's are. You need to have this kind of long-term business investment kind of mindset. And so, I know like we teach you everything in the course that you can do everything without spending money, right? Now, are there things that we recommend? If you're using lead ads, we recommend, pay the premium for Zapier. That way you can automate, getting the leads to your clients. We recommend using ClickFunnels. Like, there are definitely services that are worth paying for. And this is one of those. And I know a lot of people are hesitant to do that, or you want to wait till you get your first client. That's totally fine. We've given you a bunch of other client, acquisition strategies. But if you can think about, you can get into that mindset that we have, that is, I'm going to spend this money knowing that I'm going to get way more out of it. That's why, Bobby and I, when we're talking about growing the business, we're not afraid to drop money into a copywriter or somebody to do some sort of specialized thing, or to bring experts in to help y'all, because we know that the return on the investment is going to be much bigger. So when Gary talks about that $60, yeah, it is. To us, it seems like a drop in the bucket. To you, it might seem like a lot, but you can at least use that first month and you can try it out. And, if you want to get into that mindset of, hey, I'm making the $65 investment, it's totally worth it. And you may not be there yet, but it's something to keep in mind. I think it's an important point that Bobby and I are always trying to hit home, is that you have to change the way you think to be successful in business.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just to add on, like, a lot of the people that came from Millennial Money Man, if you're a Millennial Money Man reader, like, you're financially motivated. So $65 is a lot of money to a lot of people. But if you think of that as like your motivating factor, like, you pay $65, you damn well better get a return on the investment. So you've got to hustle.
Yeah.
so that's the way that, if I was starting out, and when I was starting out, that's how I thought of things.
Yep. And you get your first month for free, right? But and so I want to also add something to what Mike and Bobby have just said. When you are starting out, I mentioned I grew my agency to over 200 gyms around the world. We're doing over $1 million a month in Facebook ad spend for those clients, and it was insane. But I learned a lot of lessons. One of the most important lessons I learned is, if I had to make a decision, an investment decision, about either spending money on running my business or spending money on acquiring new clients, if I had to make a choice between those two things, I spent the money on acquiring new clients. Acquiring new clients solves every other financial decision in your business. But if you've got a choice to make, invest in acquiring business.
That's a great point. If you're watching the recording, rewind like 30 seconds and listen to that again. Let it sink in, because that's a great point.
Yeah.
Cool. So next thing you want to optimize in your profile is this piece here, which is known as your headline. So a lot of people will write their headline as a job title: dentist at Starshine. Fixed assets. What the fuck do you do? Personal trainer and gym owner. Okay. So again, it's about them. Not good. You want to generate leads, make it about your target audience. So again, similar to this statement that you're putting up here, if I guaranteed you this result, would you be interested? Now, a couple of extra special important points here is, when you search for people on LinkedIn, or when people are searching on LinkedIn for maybe someone like you, this statement shows up in the search results. When people are Googling, it's this stuff and this stuff that will show up in those results, and that Google have, indexed and organized and so forth. So even though we're repeating what we said here in the image, super important for other reasons as well. Okay. So, and you can see I just use the exact same statement, or question rather. So
Michael asked, what's SDR?
Sales development representative. So my profile is optimized for IT software companies. Inside IT software companies, they have a tiered sales team. So they have at the top enterprise salespeople, which is what I used to do. And they focus on the Fortune 1000. Below those folk, they'll have the commercial sales team. Those folk focus on most of the stuff below a Fortune 1000. Below those guys, I'll have an inside sales. So enterprise salespeople and corporate salespeople are generally what we call outside sales teams. So they are people knocking down doors, going to client meetings on site, driving around, seeing people, all that sort of stuff, right? Then you've got the inside sales team. So the inside sales team do the similar job, but they do everything over the phone. And what feeds those three sales teams is the sales development reps. So whenever an IT company gets in leads, whether it's from an event or what we're sort of doing, the SDR gets on the phone, qualifies them, qualifies their need, their organization, ideally their budget, and then they sort of route it to the appropriate sales type of salesperson. That was a long answer to what could have been a short one. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
All right. So you can see, you asked the question, what's an SDR? But if you are a VP of sales or a chief marketing officer at an IT company, you're absolutely going to know what that means. So it's written for my audience. All right, next piece, final piece is just the summary. And so again here, people often make this a CV, or even worse, they don't have one, like we know. Neil has, but it's a pretty boring statement. And Robert, wow, he's got some certifications. Good on him, which mean a whole lot to me as someone that's thinking about getting fit again. And I've just given you an insight or a little hint here on the Loom video strategy that the boys have taught you. This could be an entry point into making someone's Loom video about, hey, do this, you'll get more leads. And then I notice you don't have a profile here, blah, blah, blah. One option. All right. So what you want to do here with this statement is you basically want to lay out, here's what I can do for you. Here's why I'm legit. And here's how you come and get my shit without being salesy. Okay? So literally when I updated my profile, without doing anything else, I organically was getting appointments booked for a sales call. So if you do this and nothing else, chances are you'll get some results out of it. So I use Calendly. You can get a free account. It's just at calendly.com. Calendly, for those that aren't aware, is just a scheduling tool. So when someone goes to your link, now the links in here are not clickable. That's the only downside to putting a link in here. They do have to copy and paste it. But when they go to this link, it basically shows what time slots you've got open in your calendar because you've synced it with your Google Calendar, and they can choose something that works for them, book in a time, and again, Calendly for what you guys need, just use the free version. Okay. There's other options out there. Just showing you. I like the user experience around Calendly. It looks nice. It looks pretty. All that shit. Cool. All right. That's profile optimization. Any questions before we get on to the next piece?
Nothing so far.
All right. So the next part is about targeting your market connections. So now you've got an optimized profile. Now is when you need that paid account with LinkedIn, and you start to build a list of targeted prospects to start connecting with on LinkedIn. So I made a couple of notes here about Sales Navigator. So another couple of key points about why you want a Sales Navigator account. Remember, the first month is free. LinkedIn really restrict the volume of activity that you can do on LinkedIn with a free account. When you have a paid account, those restrictions are really lifted, and you can do a shit ton more volume of stuff. So, for example, you want to start reaching out to people on LinkedIn, you're only going to be able to connect with a couple of people every day with a free account. With a Sales Navigator account, you can do 100 people a day. And the other important part about Sales Navigator is you have a much richer search capability with a Navigator account. So you are more likely to find your target audience. So what that looks like is this. Now it's not as granular as you are familiar with on Facebook, but you can still do a pretty precise job using this. So we're going to go after wineries.
While he's searching real quick, another thing to keep in mind, if you're thinking about running ads for yourself, some people pay as much as $65 for a booked call for a client for you to run ads from. It's I think 35 is kind of like the best I've heard in the industry. So it can be for a good qualified call. So when you think about it from that perspective, the $65 investment is really good. I mean, you're talking about $2 a day. And if you try to run ads for $2 a day, you would get zero results doing that, for client acquisition. So you can look at it that way too. Instead of doing ad spend, you're spending $2 a day to be able to do this.
So let's pick a market. Give me a geography.
Well, let's do Cali. I mean, there's a lot of wineries in Cali, so that's probably where we're going to get some of the best results.
The other nice thing about their search is you don't even have to worry about numbers. You just got to start thinking, and it comes up in the drop down.
Cool.
Useful for me looking for exotic cities in America. Well, exotic to me anyway. California. Well, you speak a different language, right? So it's very tricky for people like me that speak proper English.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
I wish I could go Ron Swanson.
Little mini dig. Yeah, I was just thinking that. Whenever Tanya posts something, since she's in the UK, Bobby comes in with a gif of Ron Swanson with the American flag and drops it as a reply. And I mean, dozens of times per week, I see this gif, I feel like.
All right. So generally, when you're looking for your target market, I'll show you something here. When you're looking at, you can search by industry and geography, no problem. It's probably not going to give you as precise results as you want. So this guy, I don't know what the hell that is. The wine group sounds more like a distribution or something. So now we want to try and get this a little more precise, right? So just come down to the bottom here. We can view all filters again, and we can maybe type in owner. Let's put it down to 4,800, which is good.
So winemaker. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah, good. Well, it looks like he consults to wineries. But look, it looks like we're getting better now, right? But look, marketing, we don't want that. So in here, this is what's called LinkedIn's Boolean search. Boolean search basically means you can search for keywords inside people's profiles and use things like and, or, not. So we want to search for people that have the word owner in their profile, but not the word consulting. Let's just say we want to get rid of people like this, right? So you simply type consulting, not consulting, right? And then we'll scroll down and boom, that guy's gone. But you know what? We don't want marketing in here either, right? Because they're our competitors. or they could be JV partners. I don't know. But let's say in this example, we don't want marketing in here. So we do not marketing. That just took 1,900 results out.
Oh,
But now we're getting really, really good results, right? People that own wineries that we want to start marketing to. And what you do is you scan through the results, and
that's a lot of wineries and vineyards, and I mean, spot on.
Yeah.
3,000 is going to take you quite a while to get through.
Yeah, 3,000 that comes out to about, it's over a month to go through all of those, right? If you're capped at 100 a day.
100 a day, right? It's going to take a month. But look, so the results generally get worse as you come down. But these all still look, these are all winery owners, which for our purposes is awesome. So there you go. There's 3,000 winery owners in California that we can start implementing this system, the rest of the system that I'm about to show you as an example. But let's do another search example. What's another example someone would like to see?
Oh, here real quickly. Michael asks, are you capped at looking at 100 profiles or doing what 100 times?
Sorry. So when we get to the next phase, we're going to send out connection requests to these people. And you don't want to send more than about 100 connection requests per day. Even with a paid account, LinkedIn are anti-automation, even though there are tools out there that can help you automate this. If LinkedIn catch you using automation, they'll give you a warning. If you continue using automation after they've warned you, they'll restrict your account. And restricting your account means you can't reach out to people and connect as easily as I'm about to show you.
Okay.
So keep it to 100 people max per day that you're sending connection requests out to. Now, the other realistic limitation around that is just the time and energy it's going to take you to physically do that, because we're going to send out personalized connection requests. I'm going to show you after this. So that's the 100 number. So you can do 20. I mean, whatever you have time for.
Sorry. So this is backing up just a little bit before we move on. Pam asked, or she said, so I still have my day job and I've got my LinkedIn profile tied to that out of necessity. Can I make a second LinkedIn profile to do this?
Yes. So in those situations, so it's technically against LinkedIn's terms of service, but the short answer is you basically have to if you want to implement this. And the way to do that is you would create a profile, Pam, middle initial, surname, or Pam, maiden name if you're married, as an example. Okay. So there's a couple of things you can do there.
Cool.
Yep. So we got another industry I can search.
Yeah, we've got a couple in here. Gyms, real estate, restaurants, martial arts schools. That's going to be similar to gyms. Those are the ones that I see.
So you notice I use inverted commas here. Whenever you're using a phrase, you need to bound it with inverted commas, or it'll just treat it as individual words. So it would just show me gym or owner, basically, if it didn't have inverted commas, whereas now it's going to search for the precise phrase. So you can see I've got 1,800 results here. Now this is globally. Now there's other ways to find these people. Gym owner. Yeah, these are looking pretty good. So that's just a basic search. How else would I find a gym owner? Let me just see. So what I did was, this industry is health, wellness and fitness. So I've looked at owners only, people that have identified themselves as an owner in their profile. And then I've just said not wellness, not health, just to see if that gives us a more precise gym search. Because there's more than 1,500 gym owners on LinkedIn, right? Okay, but now we've got some stupid shit here. No good. All right. Yeah, that's no good. Gym. Now search. So before I searched for gym owner as a phrase, this time I've searched for just the keyword gym, and I've used the seniority as owner, which is different. So this is looking at how someone has labeled themselves within LinkedIn. This is looking at, have they used that phrase anywhere in their copy, where they've typed it in as their description or in their job summaries or anything like that. Okay. So we've still got a few people, we don't want here. Not isogenics, not marketing. So this is looking a bit better. So this is looking a lot better, like gym owner folk. Down on page 10, results are still looking pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I would spend more time than what I'm doing right now to get this audience as precise as possible, because when we start sending out these connection requests, it's really important to have a message to market match. And that means that everything about your profile, everything about the connection request you send them has to be really relevant to the people you're sending it to. So definitely spend more time researching your audience. But I just wanted to give you a sense here of how you could go about it and some different tactics you could use. Do you want to see any more examples?
Before you get into that, I think there's a really good question here from Pam. She says, I still have my day job and have my LinkedIn.
We covered that.
I'm sorry. My bad.
No, you're cool. Something I was going to ask as you were going through those, do you find that there is the length of time that somebody's been in a specific position? So, it says like 1 year, 6 months, 20 years. Like, do you find that one is better than the other, or is it kind of a crapshoot depending on the business owner?
It depends on the industry. I'm just trying to think of some examples. So in the gym industry, as an example, so you can't search by age as an example, right? But there's a lot of people in the fitness industry that are fairly young. They've been a trainer for a while and they're like, hey, I'm going to go start my own gym, or, we're going to go do boot camp in the park. I found that people under the age of 35 were not good clients. And it was the more mature gym owners that were the better clients. Basically, the younger folks, especially in their 20s, they think they can do it all, right? Mm. And so they're like, yeah, I can do that myself. So, one way I filtered out those people was basically anyone, I would look at only 6 to more than 10 years experience as an example. Or I would look at, I would do different searches to find different people. I would look at more length of tenure with their current company, because anyone that's just started their gym is going to be in here, right? Or anyone Now, are you going to exclude people that are 45 and had a career change and just started their gym? Yes, you are. But it's also going to get rid of a lot of the people that might not have been an ideal client.
Got it.
It's a good question.
Thank you.
Were there more questions just come through? I just saw some lashes.
No, Michael always has great questions for us, but he had a question and then you answered it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Did anyone want me to look at another example?
Yeah, Diego just asked if you could do real estate.
Yeah. This rocks for real estate.
Yeah, I think that was the example we used when you and I were talking about it, was real estate. Yeah. And it was, I mean, realtors are going to be on LinkedIn for sure.
Let's try that. Too many. How many? What about, let's pick up.
Well, show them how you can bring it down geographically, because we haven't done that.
Yeah.
That,
all right.
so
that was, we've got 1.1 million people on LinkedIn that are realtors, right? And that's just too many people.
It's a lot.
To build it out. Well, once you've built out your audience, just save the search. Make sure you save the search. Really important. But yeah, it's too many for the purposes of what we're doing, right? So we want to narrow it down. So one way I like to narrow it down is often by geography. So, you could pick a country. Well, no, too many people still. Or you could pick a state. That's still too many people when it refreshes. I've got Mike's internet. There we go.
That joke has legs. Travels.
Now look,
all the way to Australia.
81,000 people, still way too many. You want to try and get it down to ideally like 1,000 or so. 3,000 is actually a good number. And the reason why is that gives you a month of an audience, basically. So what's a city? I have no idea about your geography. What's a city in Texas?
Houston.
Try Keller. I think we had to go like way smaller.
Oh, Houston's huge. Yeah.
I think we tried Fort Worth and it was still too big. Oh, Keller was too small. Okay. So try.
Well, that's still okay. I mean, that's a week's worth of work, right?
Yeah.
But what's
you could try,
what about
you could try Fort Worth.
Fort Worth might be too big.
It might be. I'm just trying to think. He and I did this already once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you go.
Perfect.
Oh, there it is.
So now we got nearly 3,000 realtors in the Fort Worth and Keller area of Texas that we can start doing this with. Again, perfect number of people. We get a month of work that we can execute on here. So, I mean, these are, realtors, gym owners, chiropractors, fairly easy to do. One of the things you have to consider when you are choosing a niche is how active these people are on LinkedIn. And unfortunately, from experience, I can tell you that people like chiropractors aren't on that frequently, and dentists get pitched a shit ton. So if you are going after dentists, you absolutely must lead with value, which I've talked about, and I'm going to show you an example of, rather than saying, hey, I'm a Facebook ads guru, come and sign up for my service, right? They just get pitched and pitched and pitched.
Really quickly on that note, because we've got a good question about it. Ken says, can you refine searches by how active people are on LinkedIn so your leads are not people who only log in 2 to 3 times a year like me?
Me too.
Which is about to change.
I think the answer is yes, but I'm not sure I know how to do it. So
you can always look at the profile too and see.
Yeah, you can look at the profile. No, I know that you can see that information with a Sales Navigator account. I know that you can't see it with a free account. And the reason I don't know the exact answer around that is because my team do this. I'm more, I haven't literally done this for myself or clients in a long time. So that's why
owner versus practitioner. There's the goal, ladies and gentlemen.
It's true.
Yeah.
So another question from Pam, and it says, many people seem to put up a profile picture because they think they should, but they don't really put any effort in updating it or keeping it accurate. Some people overblow their qualifications. How do you circumvent these issues when prospecting? Sean says I'm doing this as soon as the gloves are off, which is funny because he's got like boxing mitts right now.
I'll be honest, like Mike told me this was like powerful stuff, and it's fairly simple, it seems, but like this is awesome. Like if you're trying to find leads, this is great. So yeah, this is cool.
Pretty straightforward to implement. You just got to dot point all the action items and then just go from one through to the end and just execute. You just got to take action.
Yeah, I just don't know where else you would get this many potential leads for like $60 a month.
You know what? And I'm going to throw something out here because I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to throw out a little incentive. If anybody watches this training, I'm only going to do this for one person. So you got to tell me you're doing it beforehand.
Okay.
But if you're watching this training and you want some free swag and you're willing to go through and do a step-by-step, these are the things that you need to do based on this video that we can share with the group, we'll hook you up with a free t-shirt. If you're one of the original members, you can get one of the original member shirts. If you're one of the new members, you're going to have to wait till we put out the new shirt. But I'm going to throw that out there because I think there's going to be a lot of people interested in that, and I'm not going to do it.
Awesome. I forgot the question. What was the question?
Oh, sorry. Is there a way to circumvent, issues with people either overblowing their qualifications or not keeping it accurate and up to date?
Yep. So in the context of you trying to get them as a prospective client or generating leads on their behalf?
Searching in LinkedIn for like good people, that are actually active.
Yeah. So look, don't worry about their image. If it's there or not, whatever it is, you just want your image to be on message and to resonate and to send, give out the right vibe, right? So just focus on your image. Don't worry about your prospects. And then if they're overblowing their qualifications on LinkedIn, you're not going to know. I could have told you I've sold $1 billion worth of software. How the hell are you going to find out whether I have or not, right? People do inflate their LinkedIn profiles. It happens, but it's not a problem for you to generate leads for your business. And it's not a problem for you to generate leads for their business because you're likely not using this to generate leads for them. You're going to use Facebook, right? You're going to use what Mike and Bobby have taught you. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, that's why we're playing the numbers game too.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, that's why we're talking to as many people as we can. I mean,
yep.
There's no perfect, you can't find the needle in the haystack, but on the first try at least. So
if you're doing 100 a day, 700 a week, and you get one, it's so worth it. If you could get one new client a week, some of y'all might not even be able to onboard one client per week yet. Yeah. So, it's a numbers game, just like it is for you generating leads for your clients on Facebook.
Yep. All right. So look, I think we should keep moving forward now, if that's okay.
Yep. Go for it.
Unless someone's desperate to see another search example, but
I think there's plenty there for them. They can figure it out on their own from there.
Let's figure it out. Cool. So once we've built out the audience that we want to go after, so now, we've optimized our profile to say, what if I could get you 10 buyer leads a month? Or what if I could get you 15 seller leads a month? Would you be interested? Right? And we've optimized out our profile. We've done the realtor search for Fort Worth and Keller, and we've got this group of 2,800. So now we need to start sending out those connection requests. And this is where that number of 100 a day comes into play. But what you don't want to do is send the stupid default connection request. People hate that shit and they'll just ignore it. But when you've got your list, so you save it, okay? And then if you come here, you can go connect. Now, when you go connect, it lets you, it throws up the default connection request, that's bad juju. Don't do that shit. You want to personalize it. And so we use a little script here, and it just says, "G'day, Scott. I'm looking to expand my network of IT sales and marketing professionals. Would you be open to connecting? Cheers." Now, you're limited to 300 characters, I think it is, for a connection request. So it can't be wordy. You absolutely do not want to try and sell people. People hate that shit as well. And you absolutely do want to personalize it. So you can see here, I've said Scott, and it's been sent to Scott. So here, you would say something like, in your words, "G'day, Lacey." And then you'd copy and paste this in, "I'm looking to connect with more real estate professionals." Forgive my typing. I got fat fingers, and again, I don't do this shit. My team do. In Fort Worth. So when you're searching by region, this is why it's nice to, only do Fort Worth or only do Keller, so that when you use their first name, when you use, say, the town they're in, that language grabs people's attention. It grabs their eye. It gets them to read it, right? Yeah. It's trust as well. And it shows that you've taken some effort and you're not just sending out 100 spammy messages, "Connect with me, connect with me, connect with me." All right? So, you can just copy and paste my template, basically, and personalize it. This example here works big time. Real estate professionals, would you be open to connecting? So that's what I'd send, right? And you just do 100 of these a day. I have this in a little text editor, throw it in and type over the name, send. Okay? Takes five seconds.
Something to keep in mind with all of this too. We teach you a lot. We've said many times that, like, in the course, it doesn't matter if you're using Facebook or if you're using some other traffic source. We're teaching you marketing principles. We're teaching you effective lead gen principles. And Gary repeated one that we've talked about a lot with your clients, which is you only drive the next action. So this message, like you said, you're not selling, you're getting them to connect, to submit, to accept the invitation. And then he's going to lead you through a series of other steps. And the next step is going to get them to take one more baby step and then one more baby step. If you try and skip steps, if you try and sell 2 steps away or more, which is even worse, you're not going to get good results. But if you only sell the next step, you're going to see much higher conversions, much higher results.
Exactly. It's spot on. So when you send out these connection requests, 1 of 3 things is going to happen. 1, they're going to accept it straight away. Happy days. 2, they're going to ignore it. 3, they're going to come and look at your profile. This is why we optimize our profile, because when we send the connection request to Lacey, she doesn't accept it. She doesn't ignore it. She comes and looks at our profile. Holy shit, Gary, you could help me get 20 more buyer leads a month. Holy shit, Gary, you could help me get 20 more seller leads every month. Damn straight, I'm accepting that connection request. So this is market to message match. Okay. Very simple principle. Everything in your messaging needs to match what the market wants around the problem they've got that they want solved or the result they want that they don't currently have. So this is why it's so important to update that profile and not have it as a freaking resume. Because if Lacey comes and checks this out and it's Gary Griffiths, lead generation expert, or Gary Griffiths, lead generation expert for realtors, she's going to be like, hell no, this guy's going to try and sell me something as soon as I connect. I'm out of here.
Yep.
All right?
Love it.
Cool. So, where are we up to? So another tangential point here, you can target as many audiences or as many niches as you want. You just got to do them one at a time. So again, coming back to that market to message match, let's say this month I want to target realtors. So my profile's optimized for realtors. My audience that I've searched is realtors. My messaging is all about realtors. And that's what I do for a month. Next month, I want to target gym owners. So you know what? I just update my profile. I probably don't even change much of this. I just say 20 new members. You know, if I guarantee 20 new members a month for your gym, would you be interested? I'm not rewriting this, holus bolus. I'm just changing and tweaking it. You know, there's a 100% chance I can help you if you're looking to attract more members to your gym, right? So again, you just update the profile, you update the search audience, and you start reaching out. In the third month, you want to go after dentists, and you just rinse and repeat. So I'll say it again. You can target as many different niches as you want. You just got to do it one at a time. Sweet.
So Richard had a good question. I'm interested to see what your opinion is on this. He said, for some of us that are just getting started and don't really feel comfortable saying X leads per month or something like that, what other go-to phrases or descriptions can they use that doesn't sound like they're just going to sell somebody?
All right. So look, you don't want to mislead people. You don't want to lie. At the same time, you do have to exhibit confidence. Yeah. People buy from confident people. They don't buy from uncertain people. And the time that you have least certainty in your career is at the start. I get it. But this is where you've got to take a leap of faith in what Bobby and Mike have taught you. You've got to take that leap of faith that if you implement what they've shown you for your clients, you're going to get them the result. And then you can take solace in the fact that you could offer them a money-back guarantee. But I wouldn't be watering down that message personally. And if you absolutely can't live with that, then this approach might not be the right approach for you. Now, like I said, you want to be, you don't want to mislead, you want to be authentic, but you just got to have faith that what Bobby and Mike have shown you is going to work, and that you can say to someone, you know, if I can guarantee you 10 new members a month, would you be interested? I mean, you don't have to say, it doesn't have to be a big number. Man, if I'm a gym owner and you can get me 5 new members a month, that's probably $2,000 a month, thereabouts, in depending on where they are, in revenue that I wouldn't have had if I'd have never met you. So, you know, I would encourage you to offer a specific result. And the other thing we're doing here is, with a bit of a play on words, you know, we're saying, if I could guarantee you. Now, the thing here is that your results that you get for people are going to be different in every market. Even if you work with gym owners, you're going to get different results for a gym owner in New York as you will for a gym owner in Dallas, as you will for a gym owner in Los Angeles, right? Because there's factors at play that you can't influence. So when you're running Facebook ads for people, you know, there's a shit ton more competition in the fitness niche in California than there is in Ohio. So you're going to be paying higher lead costs in LA. And, you know, if the gym owner only has a $100 a month advertising budget, yeah, they're not going to get 20 leads a month. They're kidding themselves. But the idea is to give them a hook that attracts their interest, that you've got faith that you can just go and deliver on if everything else you need to deliver that result lines up, the budget, the audience, and so forth. So I would encourage you to not back off. Have confidence in the process, have faith, and the hardest time in this journey is at the start. I get it.
Yeah.
I think it's a great answer. And I think the thing that people need to realize about what you're saying with the 20 to 30 qualified leads, or if I could guarantee, a lot of business owners, especially if they've been around for a while, they understand that it's a process usually. It's not 20 to 30 leads next week. It's hey, we're going to work together and we're going to get you to the point where we are driving 20 to 30 leads. So if you're saying 10 for a gym owner, let's say you get 5 the first month, then you talk to them and say, look, this is what we did. We're going to make some changes and we're going to get up to that 10. So it's not like I wouldn't overthink the guaranteed 20, 30. I think that what Gary just said is a great answer. So just, have some confidence,
I want to add some more to my point. No one remembers this statement.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Not
That's
one
true.
of my single clients has ever referenced back to this comment, right? It's just a hook to attract their interest and start and to get them to connect with you and kick off a conversation. So, and again, you do want to be careful where you want to have this contextual, right? So what I mean is, if I was targeting enterprise salespeople in the software industry, they would laugh at me if I said this, because that's not realistic and they'd know it. So, for them, I'd be saying 1 to 2 leads per month, because a deal to those guys is $500,000, $2 million, $5 million, right? And for a gym owner, I would only say 10 to 15 leads a month, because if they're in LA, holy shit, we're going to have a tough time. All right. I saw the orange flashing light. Any questions?
Yeah, John has one that's going to lead us right into the next bit. He says, so the hook is out. How do we set it and lead them in if they don't bite on their own? What's the secondary attempt at contact if they don't bite right off at looking at your profile?
Nice.
Okay. Okay. If they ignore us or they don't accept our connection request, move on. Okay. We've got 3,000 in this audience. We're going to have another 3,000 when I change the cities. We're going to have another 3,000. Just move on. Just don't worry about the people that ignore you or don't connect. Simple as that. For the ones that do connect, here's what happens next. Essentially, most people on LinkedIn, when they're doing something like this, after someone accepts their connection request, they'll probably send a message that says, hey, thanks for connecting. Can I sell you some shit now? That's the worst thing you can do. You want to say, thanks for connecting. Here's something of value that I know you're going to be interested in. Would you like it? And I call this an attention asset. That's what I label them. So an attention asset is something that's of value to your target audience, is easy for them to consume. So, like asking them to come and watch a 2-hour webinar, not going to fly, because that's not easy for someone to consume. You don't use webinars at the very top of your funnel. And this is where we are here. We're at the top of our funnel, where we're taking cold traffic, turning them into warm leads, getting them hot, buying our shit, ultimately. Like Mike said, there are steps in here, and you just got to follow each step one by one by one. So easy to consume, high perceived value, and it's got to be aligned with your service, right? So it's no use offering them something really valuable if it has nothing to do with what it is you do. So, some examples of this attention asset would be, so I send a message like this, G'day Giordano, thanks for connecting. Quick question. I've got this attention asset. I think it's really valuable for you. Would you like me to send you a copy? So if you're targeting gym owners, G'day gym owner, thanks for connecting. I've got this ad that just crushed it and brought in one of my clients 20 leads. Do you want me to send you a copy of the ad? Or I've got this checklist to creating the perfect ad on Facebook to get more leads. Would you like me to send you a copy? Once they raise their hand and say, yes, please send that to me, that's when you send it over. So really important here that we're not just sending them the attention asset. We want them to raise their hand. If we just send out that attention asset, whether it's a video or a blog post or a cheat sheet or whatever it might be, that's getting a bit spammy if we just send it to them, and they could consume it and we don't even really know if they're interested or not. If we ask for their permission, they raise their hand, then we know we've got a colder lead that's becoming a little warm. And here starts our sales cycle. So once they reply, we send them that attention asset, and that's where we start the sales conversation. And we ultimately lead them down the path to becoming client. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that cheat sheet. Have you got any questions? Would you like to catch up and discuss? Would you like to, how can I add more value to you? And again, when you've got your profile optimized, that you can help them get that result they want but don't have, or get rid of that problem they've got but don't want, they're going to come to you and say, hey, I loved it. Can we catch up and chat? I'm interested to learn how you might be able to help my business get that result, get rid of that problem. That's where this is all going. So in addition to sending the LinkedIn messages, there's a next level step you can take. It's a bit of work. So it's probably not something you'll do day one, but it's going to increase your results 200 to 300%. And that is, once someone connects with you, you get access to their email address. And when you have access to their email address, you can email them. So while the LinkedIn inbox has 100% deliverability, which is unheard of in email,
yeah,
a lot of people don't live in LinkedIn every day like they do in their email. And so a lot of you are bloggers, and you know how powerful email can be. So also send them an email that says, hey, g'day Giordano, thanks for connecting. I sent you a message on LinkedIn, but I know people don't check their inbox every day, so I thought I'd send you an email as well. I've got this awesome attention asset. Would you like me to send it to you? Emailing them as well as the LinkedIn message will will double to triple your results. Once they say, yeah, send me that attention asset, then you continue that conversation to get them on the phone and show them how you can help them get that result, get rid of that problem, and they can start paying you some money.
So I've got a comment and a question from members. So First comment, Gary's talking about, you need to say, hey, I have this thing. Would you be interested in this thing? And then they say, yes, I would love that thing. And you send it to them. And that's a much more qualified lead than just blindly sending them something. Yep. I think that this is a really good point that a lot of us could learn from when we're doing our outreach, when we're using other strategies such as email or messenger or any of those things. A lot of you have really gravitated to the cold email stuff. Part of it because of Ben doing that awesome challenge a while back, but also because it's the least threatening of any of the strategies that we've suggested. Going in and using the group method or even talking to your inner circle is a little more threatening because you have to put yourself on the line. You have to show your expertise. You have to go out there. You can't just send a template. I think one of the issues with that is people think it's spammy and they tend to ignore it. It's why it's not our favorite, method. And so I think you could take what you learned here from Gary and you could apply it to some of your cold outreach and possibly get better results. If nothing else, test and find out. But if you are looking at people's ads and you're looking at their page and things they're doing, and you're trying to come to them with, say, a Loom video or something like that about some things that you notice and how you might be able to help, it might be worth saying, hey, I noticed a couple of things on your page. I'd love to put together a quick video for you on how you could improve these ads or how you could do this and that. Would you be interested? And if they come back and say yes, they're going to be much more receptive. They're going to be much more likely to watch that video. Now, it may be worse. It may not be as effective as just cranking out those videos. I don't know. But I know that's a method, an approach that I would take personally, because I like to leverage my time. And so I'd go, why the hell would I create a video for somebody that they may not even watch when I can send these messages, find out that they're interested, then record one video instead of 10 videos. Yeah. So I think that it's another good nugget that you can take away and you can apply to something else that you may already be doing to possibly, improve your results. So, go ahead and give that a try if you're using that cold outreach method, and see, maybe that'll make you come across as more professional, less spammy.
I'll be honest though, if I was starting out, I know we've given a lot of client acquisition strategies. I'd at least be like dabbling in this one every day. Like this to me is like, this is good. I would be all over this.
And I know I've said 100 is how many you can send it every day, right? But it's more important to take action than sit there and think about why you shouldn't do this or why you can't do this. So if you've only got 5 minutes a day, just send 5. 5's better than 0. 1's better than 0. And taking action, like the sales process that Mike talked about, right? You've got to take steps. Well, getting from where you are to where you want to be is exactly the same, right? You can't get from where you are now to a $2 million agency overnight. You've got to take steps, and every step requires action. So just take action.
Yep. And then, kind of the other question, if I can find it. Ricky said, can we talk? I'm assuming that Richard is Ricky.
It is. He doesn't. He doesn't go by the childhood name anymore.
Yeah. It says, can we talk legit assets, attention assets versus BS attention assets? So I think like what he's looking at, and somebody mentioned examples. I think what they're just looking at is like, what's an example? Can you give an example of the kind of content that you would create for that?
Yeah. So again, it's going to be very audience specific about what's valuable to them. Now, I think Mike's idea is freaking awesome. I mean, if I were you, I would absolutely be saying, hey, I've got some ideas about how you could improve this, or, whatever Mike's thing is on Facebook. Would you like me to send you a quick video to show you? And when they reply back, you make that Loom video. Like that, I'd just be running with that. If you want other examples, depending on your audience, it could be an ad template. I would send out real ads to gym owners. If they're 25 years old, they're going to try and copy it and do it themselves. But if they're 45 years old, they're going to be like, I don't got time for this shit. Can you just do it for me? Yeah. So I would send them literally an ad. I would send them a cheat sheet, with here's how to create an ad that's going to get you the result you want. And again, if you're targeting the right people, they're going to come back to you and say, hey, can I talk to you about how you might be able to do this for me? It's too hard. I don't have time. I've got 5 gyms that I run. I've got 10 gyms that I run. I ain't got time for this shit. My staff can't do this. Can you come and help me?
Well, I can think of another example from one of your old funnels, Gary. You had a case study video that you start out, and it was like, this is how you can generate this many leads and this many dollars for your gym using a such and such, like a 2080 challenge or something like that. And then in the video, you showed us a ton of social proof of results people got and things like that. And you basically walked them through the process. You're like, with Facebook ads, we can write an ad just like this. And with using this type of offer, this is the type of offer you'd want to use. And we promote this ad. People actually click on it. They hit a landing page like this or whatever it was, and they apply. And then once they apply, we follow up with them in this way. And it was very broad. Like, we always talk about, guys, in the course, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. You tell them what to do, what not to do, why they should do it, why they shouldn't do it, but you don't tell them how to do it. And in this situation, you're telling them what? You're telling them you're going to run an ad like this, and you're going to collect the information in this way, and you're going to follow up with them in this way. Those are all what's. And you're going to do this because of this. This is why it works. But you don't show them hey, this is how you go through and create a conversion campaign and stuff like that. You don't go that in depth, but
you don't do
that could be your thing. Would you like to see a video on how you're able to generate this many leads for a gym, spending as little as $10 a day or whatever it may be? So you can do that. And that video doesn't have to be personal. It can be something that you create one time that's really good, shows some results or some examples. And then it's just once like this, a recorded masterclass presentation called 3 Steps to Generating B2B Sales. That one could be, gym marketing, 3 steps to generating, gym leads every single day for as little as $15 per day. That could be really powerful. So there's a lot of ways you could go with it. You just got to get creative. You got to test and find out. You got to see what people respond to.
And a lot of people will get worried that when you show them the what, that they're just going to take that and go and replicate it. Now, there is always going to be that element of the market that is going to try and do that, but you haven't shown them the how. So they're still going to work out all the devil in the detail, which is really hard shit. The other nice thing, though, about showing them everything in the what and walking them through it is, one, they're like, holy shit, that's awesome. Holy shit, that's so much work. Can I pay you to do it? Right? So showing them more is a good thing, because when you show someone the funnel, the ad, and we're sending them to a landing page, and then we're texting you with their phone number, or, you get texted with their phone number so you can call them straight away. And we're sending them into Messenger as well, so you can message them on Facebook. Like, people will lose their shit and think that's so freaking awesome. But then they'll realize, holy shit, that's so much work. I got no idea how to do that. I'm just going to pay you to do it for me.
Yep. Very true.
So that's all I had. And like I said, it was all real shit in there showing you, no slides. But this is what you need to do to generate leads. Optimize your profile. Find that audience on LinkedIn that matches up with that profile. So you got that market to message match. Start reaching out to people. And when they connect, offer them something of value that they're going to be interested in. I mean, dude, Mike had the best idea on this call, right? When someone connects with you, let them know that you've noticed a few things. Would they like you to record a quick video? When they reply back, you're going to be fucking overwhelmed with leads.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
This is unreal. No, I was just saying,
I was just going to say, Gary, this is like one of the highest value trainings, maybe the highest value training that we've had so far. It was great.
Up there with Scott talking about LLCs and taxes.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. I mean, truly, if I was starting out again and if I needed to get clients in a hurry, this is what I'd do.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
This is what I do.
Is there any questions been coming through?
Oh.
No. John Rose says I'm drooling, so I take it he liked it. LinkedIn, take my money.
Take my money. That's awesome.
So,
man, you guys better go out and do this. I'm gonna sip this coffee if you guys aren't doing this tonight. It's just, it's kind of mind blowing to me.
It's what I like about it too. Let me throw this out there. There's a system, there's a repeatable process. If you create your asset, you can just do this over and over. You can, and this is something that you can eventually farm out. This is something that you could eventually get your friend or your mom or your little sister or, somebody that you hire, a VA or something, that you could teach this system and have them do it for you. So once you're making money, you could actually reinvest and have someone do this for you. And it could be happening every day without you having to worry about it. So, this is definitely one of those things that, I wish I would have known this, about this. Like I said, I did some of this on accident with my previous business, but I wish I would have thought about it for my agency, because this is something that I would have had my team doing, constantly to bring in new leads. If I weren't kind of capped out right now with how many people I can handle, I would probably be implementing this right away. So definitely really great. And guys, if you've got any questions for Gary, get them in really quickly because we're going to wrap this up very shortly.
Don't see anything yet.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Thanks. Oh, they're all saying thanks.
All right.
Like,
Pam says, I thought this was going to be too far over my head, but you won me over. Might not start it right away, but I'm definitely going to tuck this in my pocket for sure.
You could start it right away.
Krista said, I feel like if I had knew how to use LinkedIn like this from the beginning, I would already have clients.
I don't think there's anywhere else we can just find prospects like this that are just like so targeted and just easy to talk to.
I love about it is that, we talk about how powerful the targeting is on Facebook. And then you guys hear me kind of do the anti of that. And I'm like, you need to open up your targeting to let the algorithm do the work. But if you were to go in and say, I only want to target realtors or I only want to target such and such, you get that, right? Like if you were targeting gym owners or people interested in gyms, like you can still do that with Facebook ads, but you have no idea who they are and you can't go through and filter it like this. Like the way that Gary was like, this person doesn't match, let's get rid of them. This person doesn't match, let's get rid of them. And you were left with 3,000 people that were perfect, ideal prospects. And then you can see their profiles, you can reach out to them, you can communicate with them. It doesn't get more powerful than that. It really doesn't.
Well, and people are largely on the platform to make connections with other people. I mean, this is good. John said we need 30 hours of Gary daily. I don't even know if that's not even possible.
Michael says he's going to scrap his profile right now and restart. Perfect.
Cool.
So just a reminder, if you want to basically turn this into a written checklist for me, I'm going to hook you up with swag. So, let me know if you want to do that. I put my email in there. It's mike@reddirtmarketingco.com or you can just PM me or whatever. And I'm not going to have like a bunch of people doing it, but if you want to do that, I'll hook you up. Oh, Ricky already emailed me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to it, Ricky. You better do it. John Rose says this video is a $1,000 course in itself. I agree.
That's actually true.
I agree. I know people that are selling it, but not as in detail as Gary does.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like anybody's asking questions. It looks like they're all like celebrating. So we can probably wrap.
Yeah. Gary, you got any final comments or nuggets of wisdom to share with the crew?
That's it, guys. Take action is action before, perfection doesn't exist. And too many people internalize and think about all the reasons why they can't do something and why something won't work. And you know what? That's bullshit. You will never know whether something will work until you try it.
Boom.
So just take action. And I'd love to hear results from people about any wins, successes, so forth in the group. Just tag me if you can. And awesome.
Will do. And I'll keep you in the loop too. Todd had a question and he asked this earlier and I missed it. So if you got time for one more question, he said, we know that you tend to have kind of a higher income market or audience on LinkedIn compared to say Facebook, but is there a way to search and target higher net individuals? I don't know the answer to that.
So is there a particular industry or you just care about people that are making a shit ton of money?
Well, I know Todd works with a lot of orthodontists, but I'm not sure that.
Did Todd ask something about
he's typing
advisors earlier?
He's typing right now.
Type fast, Todd.
How do I find the chat? There you go.
Just high net worth, doesn't care about the industry.
Okay, just high net worth. All right. Let's just do USA. Short answer is I don't know how to do it. Quick answer is, or the longer answer is I think I can work it out in 30 seconds.
Oh. I like that. See, that's that confidence we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. And that is so true. Like with your clients, you can never go wrong by saying, I don't know, but I'll find out.
It's true.
And get back to you.
Yeah, they love that.
Well, this one would be a certainty. If they're a CXO or a VP at a big company and they've got more than 10 years experience, then they're going to have a shit ton of money. Now, they might not be high net worth, but they will absolutely be high income, right? I mean, these people are going to be earning 2, 3, 4, 500 grand a year minimum. So you would expect they're also going to have reasonably high net worth, unless they've had, you know, an unfortunate event in their life. But Sanjay makes 7 figures, right? So yeah, Sandy would make $500,000 a year. So that's sort of how I'd go about it. I'd also maybe narrow it down either on industry. Yeah, probably on industry, so that my connection message was targeted around their industry. I don't know if you could slice it out by geography just to pull it down, but I wouldn't necessarily use the geography in the messaging because that's not really relevant. But if you want to get the numbers down to that manageable 3,000.
I did a quick Google search and I didn't quite see anything, but it's definitely worth looking into.
Yeah, there's no button that says high net worth, right? You can't do that. So you got to think about other ways. And this is sort of the roundabout way. And, you know, if I had more than 30 seconds, I'd probably come up with something even better. But this is where I'd start. Yeah, anyone with a title at a big company is going to be making a shit ton of money.
Yeah. I think it's a good to start. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think we're good, right?
Sweet. Cool. Well, guys, take action on this. Seriously. This is just another tool to put in your toolbox and probably one of the more powerful ones for client acquisition, which is why we were so excited about this. So, Gary, unless you got any other final words, I appreciate it, man.
All good. Thanks, everyone, for your time. Take it easy.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.